We are talking about range, about distance, and you don't want to be that person who goes to throw their cross and ends up getting really jammed, or that throws and they're out of range. We want to be able to find that perfect distance, and today I'm going to teach you how you can go about doing that from your own home. Something that the best pro fighters in the world have is this immaculate understanding of range. They know exactly where they need to be so they can land the strike, get the most force out of it, the most damage, while still being able to minimize the risk of counter shots or jamming their shot, obviously. Now, before we get into all that, I want to thank the episode partner, Filebach, who just has me completely decked out right now. These guys have spectacular clothing. I am blown away by the quality, by the amazing feel, like so smooth. It feels fantastic. I have a link down below that will send you directly to Filebach, and I have a promo code which will save you 20%. Now, understanding range, understanding distance. This is something that, of course, you will learn through trial and error mistakes, right? Somebody holds Thai pads and you go to throw and you're like, oh, I missed. Or you go to throw your knee and you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit jammed, something's off. Of course, you are going to learn your distance and your range bit by bit by making mistakes, but we want to expedite this process. We want to make it happen much faster. And not only that, we want to give you the understanding of this overwhelming sense of confidence in your distance. And to do that, something that I've been training for a long time is just at home training, playing around by touching objects. So I want to take you first through how I train at home, these little things that I do, and then how this can help you in your training at the gym. So, for instance, I don't always have gloves on, obviously, and I don't always have a Bob in the room with me, but I can always be walking around and just have a wall beside me, right? Even right here, I could just be walking down the hallway and be like, oh, the wall's right there. And just with my fingers, just be trying to flick and touch. Or when I'm walking into the kitchen, I'm opening up the fridge door, look and go, oh, there's my kitchen island behind me. And I'm like, oh, it's at that range. And I'll just slowly reach out and touch it. And just constantly throwing all these techniques. Like just walking over and being like, oh, okay, this is my jab range. Okay, cross range, I'm just gonna scooch, get myself a tad closer. Okay, I wanna throw my front kick, step back, and understanding by touching objects all throughout your home and learning that ideal range, it's helped me so much. Probably more so than any other training that I could recommend for you. Now, range is so very important, as we already talked about, because it can keep you safe while minimizing your chance of damage, but at the same time, it tells you what technique to execute where you are. And the more you understand this, the more you'll be like, okay, I'm right here. I know from here it's not going to be ideal for me to throw a body round kick. I already know that. So as I bounce around and my opponent's in front of me, I'll start making calculations on what will be the best technique to throw. And this only takes me a snap of a finger. Like I can go here and go, okay, this is uppercut range, no problem. I can also land a nice back knee from here. From my front knee, I'm gonna probably feel a little bit jammed after I execute my skip. When I take a step back, I know none of the punches are gonna land, but yeah, I could land a nice Superman elbow, not a punch right now because I'm too close for this, I'll be too jammed, but I can get a nice Superman elbow in. Once I step forward, I know my spinning back fist, once I take my step, is gonna be right on point. I also know that my front kick off my lead leg is too far, but off my back leg is going to be pretty ideal, provided I don't over pivot and jam myself. All of this is so integral to being able to get in front of your opponent and throw the right technique in that exact right moment. And you're not going to understand this until you just start making it almost an everyday occurrence. You just walk past the door and you're just like, oh, flick, I know exactly where I should be. You walk past the edge of your couch and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna touch it gently. And they don't have to always be fast. They can be slow. They can be quick. And you just change up what you're doing depending on the object in front of you and how worried you are about breaking it, obviously. But one of the things that people have said to me very often about my fight style when they face me is it's very difficult to know what I'm going to throw, when I'm going to throw it. I just seem to have this sense of control. And a lot of that in my mind comes down to this range, not so much defensively, but offensively. Because range and distance in terms of offense is very important. Obviously on defense it is too, but in offense I think it's often missed. And when you can start just doing this little tap thing around the house and understanding exactly where you need to be, and remember, centimeters make a difference. They might not seem like it, but if I was gonna go, okay, I wanna throw my Thai side kick. I'm like, yeah, here's a nice distance to give a little shuffle, boom. But all of a sudden, if I just go, I just feel like, okay, now I don't need to throw that with a slide. I'll just throw a long front kick. Thai side kick, long front kick. These tiny little differences do affect us. So again, all you need to do, walk around your house, touch objects, start understanding which techniques are thrown at what range, and then all of a sudden things will start clicking for you at the gym. Or at least they did for me in terms of understanding exactly what techniques work best at exactly the right distance. And if you cannot do this yet, I'm gonna show you right now. If you can't do this yet, you need to start doing it. It's so important. Start out here and go, I wanna throw a jab. And walk yourself to your perfect jab range. And then check and go, nice, okay, I can aim a little bit through. I'm not too jammed, but I'm also not out here. And then reset, and then go, okay, I wanna walk forward to my round kick position. Let's go high round kick off my back leg. Assuming I wanna land with my foot. Get myself right to here, boom. And then you could do something like, oh, I wanna throw the ideal range for my spinning side kick with a step. Take a step first. So I'll go, okay, I'll put myself about here. Again, I can land at many distances, but I wanna be right at that ideal range now where I can follow through. That's what we're looking for, that little follow through. So if you cannot do that for every technique and you don't find that you're able to get it perfect, like if it's a walk up and you're like, okay, I wanna throw a body cross, and you're kind of going, no, there we go, I gotta bend forward. That's not right. You should get to that perfect distance where you can go, okay, right from here I can hit, my body's in a good position, and I don't have to lean my weight way forward. That's the important part. I'm not going, ugh, to make it happen. I don't compromise. If you can't do that yet, you need to get on it. It will elevate your game in a way that nothing else will, in such a simple way around the house with no real physical work required. You don't have to go and do anything hard. You just have to understand the difference between this range and that range and know that it's very big difference. That's it. I'll see you guys back here soon.